$100 cumulatively throughout the course of the week, then that
2024、ジャパニーズリストリームでお楽しみの皆様、いかがでしょうか。先ほど解説に入っておりました、木島しじまです。このままですね、司会進行の方をさせていただくこととなりましたので、何卒よろしくお願いいたします。声の方大丈夫でしょうか。次のタイトルなんですけれども、クロノクロス、ラジカルドリーマーズエディションということで、これリンクスパーセントってことは、これ山猫になったまんま、そのまんまあれかな、つくよみと一緒になって終わるエンディングのことかな。で、ファストフォワードってこれターボモードのことを言ってるのかな。ちょっとごめんなさいね。私もクロノクロスのスピードランについてはあまり詳しくないもので。
Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition, Lynx Fast Forward that is going to be done in just a second here by jerikandra, and if we get that extra incentive met, Chrono Trigger. So I
多分
can't
ク
wait to see those
ロ
runs
ネ
stick around.
コエンドってことだと思うんですけど。で、このゲームのビットボーめちゃくちゃ、設定されてるんですけど、まず、名前、キャラのね、いろんなキャラの名前がね、変わるっていうのは、わかるんですよ。
Frost Fatales 2024. My name is Threech. I will be with you here through our next few runs, including our upcoming run here of
ヒットとかのね、名前がね、変えられるとかね。
As mentioned, we are so excited for that. We're also
グレンの名前が変えられるとかね、シェルジュの名前が変えられるとかね。いや、わかるんですよ。わかるんですけど、その前に、エクストラクロノトリガーニューゲームプラスランって書いてあるんですよ。何ですかこれは。何ですかこれは。一応概要を読む限りだと、まずクロノクロスの、ランを始める前に、クロノトリガーの、ニューゲームプラスグリッチレスを走るっていう風にあるんですね。これどうなってるねこれ。これどうなるのこれ。どうなるんですかこれね。どうなってしまうんですか私ね。でこれの次にあるのもそう。
Thank you so much to everyone who has donated over $66,000 to benefit the National Women's Law Center. We so appreciate your generosity and donations, and these types of events absolutely would not be possible without you. I just mentioned
確かにただその同じやつの EST って感じなので、できなくはないよねっていう感じはするんですけれども。どういうことっていうどういうことなんでしょうかね。
Amazing prizes. We just saw that awesome prize segment. You can go over to gamesdonequick.com, check out the prizes page. You can also type !prizes in the chat, and that will
そうですね。確かにタイムリーになってしまったタイトルではありますが。
I have always heard it and said it as respite, but I could be wrong. We could be wrong.
でもここでは一応あまり触れないでおきますね。
Put it toward that Chrono Trigger New Game Plus incentive and tell me whether I'm right or wrong.
そうですね。ラジカルドリーマーズはもともとサテラビューで配信されていた作品を、作品で、クロノクロスの前日談みたいな感じのね、お話が入っているんですけれども、そちらをこう追加したリマスター版というのが、クロノクロスラジカルドリーマーズエディションっていうものですね。ごめんなさい。マッハで戻ってくるので、ついそのまま行ってしまったんですが、大急ぎでお手洗いに行かせてください。よろしくお願いします。
Of art. So I absolutely want to see that. And I know we can make it. We are closing in on that total as I'm speaking. And I'm so grateful. We are all so grateful to you for your generosity. Let me tell you a little bit about our charity, the National Women's Law Center. The National Women's Law Center is a group of advocates, experts, and lawyers who fight for gender justice, taking on issues that are central to the lives of women and girls. They believe in a world in which all women and girls can live, learn, and work with equality, dignity, safety, and bodily autonomy. For more than 50 years, they have been on the leading edge of every major legal and policy victory for women. You can learn more about the important work they do by typing !NWLC in the chat. For those of you just tuning in, we are running currently Frost Fatales 2024. That is this show. We are so excited to be here with you, raising money for the National Women's Law Center. We've already raised over $66,000, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated, especially the $965 that we've raised toward the extra Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. We need a total of $4,000 to make that happen. We are almost a quarter of the way there, and we are so excited for that. We actually also, thank you so much to Blarlac, who sends in $5 and says, I believe that it is pronounced Queen's Recipe. I don't know if that's
お手洗い、
accurate, but I'm willing to believe.
RTA は一応 100% でなんとかなりました。お待たせいたしました。すいません。
You can let me know. I might even read it. We've got a $50 donation from Kite Rider, who says, donating toward the Chrono Trigger incentive. Must extend the Chrono block. Does Hades count as part of the block, even though the Titan Chronos isn't involved in the story yet? That's a deep cut, and I appreciate it. We've got a $25 donation from Ganymede Ghost, who says, let's go Chrono. Has a little dancing guy there with a little music note. It's very good. Thank you so much for that donation. All right, folks, with that, we are ready to go. We are ready to turn you over to watch Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition, the Lynx Fast Forward run by jerikandra. So, Jerika, when you're ready, take it away.
お、黒の画面が来ましたね。トイレエニーパーセントと、睡眠エニーパーセントは、やってはいけない、絶対に。うん。
All right.
やめなさい。
Welcome in, everyone. I'm jerikandra. I'm really excited to run Chrono Cross for you here today. This is going to be the Lynx Fast Forward run.
うん、エルフの方だ。
It's only a third of the game, so hoping that it is a teaser for you to go play or run the game. And with me today, I have to commentate Railcoon.
おやおや、画面が変わってしまった。どうしたんだろう。何かあったのかな。
Stick around, stick tight while we figure out a few things we got going on in the back end here. now's a good chance. If you gotta get up and get a glass of water, I'd say go do it now. Take just a minute to finish getting set up for Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. In the meantime, we'd also like to say thank you very much to CoreFan for the $75
違うか、あれだ。
Thank you so very much for your donation.
クロノトリガーの
Don't forget, if you donate, you can also apply your
入
donations to incentives that we have open,
あ、はい、ちょっと待ってね。
including the
了解です。
Chrono Trigger
あ、
New Game
クロノ
Plus
トリガー
run.
の
You can see immediately following Chrono
NG
Cross
プラ
Radical Dreamers
ニューゲーム
Edition.
プラスの欄は、
If you make that
フォローイング
goal,
あれか、クロノクロスランだから、あ、ごめん、逆か。失礼しました。クロノクロスの、欄を走った後に走られる、この、今の、あれですね。ビッツがマックスに達成され次第走られるということで、大変失礼いたしました。私の英語力がね、残念だということが、露呈してしまいましたし、大変失礼いたしました。
If you're on the fence about donating, you can also check out the wonderful prizes that we have available. There's always such an excellent selection for all of these events on this channel. But oh my goodness, we've got some incredible stuff going on this time around. Go check out.
もしかしたらさっきのチャントのせいで若干その別世界とのあれやこれが乱れている可能性がありますね。
Now is the time if you want to see that Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. If you want to enter to win some of the awesome prizes, you can make that happen. Exclamation mark donate in the chat, follow that link, and apply your donation to those incentives. And I'm getting the signal that we are prepared to resume the run of Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition, the Lynx Fast Forward run. So jerikandra, when you are prepared, take it away.
お、来ますかね。
All right, thank you very much.
大丈夫そうかな。
Let's try this again. I'm jerikandra, and I'm excited to run Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition Lynx for you fast forward today. And with me today for commentating is Railcoon.
Hi, I'm Railcoon. I go by they, them pronouns. I love this game a lot. I'm really happy to be here to help take you all through this. But we got a pretty long intro, so I think we're just going to hop into it if we can confirm Serge's name.
Cool. So is my dude the winning name for Surge?
It sure is. We've got my dude, 2 words, and the first D in dude is lowercase.
Oh, okay, cool. Nope. All right, so I'll start with a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
はい、タイマースタート
Alright,
で
so
す。
this
グッ
is
ドラッ
Chrono
ク。
Cross. We're doing fast forward, which is important because you see those little arrows in the bottom left. That means the game's going fast, as you can see right now. We're also doing Lynx %, which is also known as Lynx at Fort Dragonia.
あ、もうずっと早いモードの方でやるんだ。
The way into the game when we beat Lynx at the end of this dungeon, actually, when we get back there. You'll notice right away that we've got enemies on the overworld, just like in Chrono Trigger. So dodging them is really important, especially since in this opening section, none of what we do here matters in the long term of the game. So we just want to avoid all the fights, hit all the
これ確かあれですね。標準の設定で確かこういう風に2倍速でガーって走るみたいなのがモードとしてあるというか切り替えがねできるはず。
These bats, they swoop in out of you out of nowhere. There's a couple like invisible walls that they normally don't go past, and then sometimes they'll just stop, and you think you're fine, and then they swoop in and they get you. The bats they're bad. We don't like the bats around here. So we're going to get some foreshadowing to things that we're not going to see in this run. I love this game, so if you want to see what they're foreshadowing to, play the game or watch another speed run the full game, because this is kind of a bite-sized Chrono Cross experience here today. And if you want more Chrono content after this, you should definitely donate to the Chrono Trigger incentive.
Yeah,
But we got a bit of a cutscene here, Threech, if you want to read a couple donations.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I can't agree with you more. We're at $1,140 out of $4,000 for that Chrono Trigger run. So already making great progress, but we do need you to donate if you want to see that. We've got a $25
ちなみに私一応クロノクロスプレイ済みなんですけど、ほぼ覚えてないので大変申し訳ないんですが、ちなみに今話してる子、確かあれですね、名前変更の対象の子だったはずです。はい。
In the speed run, the fastest choice in every Lena conversation is to be mean to Lena. So we're going to be kind of a jerk to go fast, which is kind of a long-standing tradition in RPG speedrunning. We're going to buy a couple fireballs just because those are going to help us get through the first dungeon here pretty quickly. And we're going to move on to Lizard Rock, which is going to have our first bit of RNG because we've got some materials we need to pick up while we're doing the required story thing. We need some humor. We ideally want a feather, which is a rare drop from these Komodo pups, and we need a fang. There's backups for all of these. Missing the fang kind of sucks. It's not the end of the world, just means that Kid will do less damage later on, but ideally we'd like to see all three. This is a pretty rare formation, but it has this beach bum in it. So while sometimes you might run away from some of the bigger formations in this game, getting the beach bum is good because that's where we get the humor. That little lizard there is what drops the fang. So hopefully we get a humor and a fang. And these pups have a 10% drop rate of the feather. If we miss the feather, that's absolutely required. And there's a chest later on that we can take a few seconds to go out of the way to grab it. But just getting into the battle system, there's a lot of things on screen. There's element level. It says level 3. There's stamina 3. When Jerika is attacking, there's numbers on the left side of the screen. Oh my goodness, what all is going on? Okay, so... Chrono Cross, there's a lot of information, but it's easier to digest. We got a humor and a fang, that's good. No feather, but we got both the humor and the fang is important. So when we're attacking, you can choose a light, medium, or heavy attack. Those are the 1, 2, or 3.
本当だ。
Much stamina. A light attack is 1 stamina.
お洋服そうだね。
Medium attack is 2 stamina, and a fierce attack is 3 stamina.
I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah. When I get hit by this one, I usually just kill it anyway. It's a humor,
ロボが見える。
You know, you have 2 guaranteed humor at this point. It's not the end of the world. And waiting for him, especially in Fast Forward, takes forever. But you'll notice there's a percentage next to the 1, 2, and 3. And that's the accuracy. Every time you hit an attack, the accuracy for all of your further attacks in that salvo of attacks, as we call it, will go up. So the lower number attacks are more accurate, and that can boost the accuracy of the harder hitting attacks. The only attacks that can crit is the 3 or the fierce attack. So in some instances, we'll just slam a 3-3, leave it up to RNG, and hope we get lucky, maybe get a crit in there. Especially on these low-level enemies, sometimes you can take some risky attacks just because a 3 will one-shot most of them. This whole early dungeon is a lot of just risk management because you can get through this pretty quickly without the enemies getting turns, or you can play it safer and have a less variance. So the other thing that happens is every time you land an attack, the 1, 2, or the 3, it charges your element level, which you see Surge has at level 0, and every time he lands attacks, it'll go up to like 1, 2, 3, and you use those levels to cast your elements, which is your magic in this game. The big thing is that using an element costs 7 stamina, and you can go negative. And if everybody's negative at the same time,
そうそうそうそう。
complex to get into in this run, but you get a bunch of free stamina.
なんかアクセサリーを作るための鱗みたいなのを今この追っかけているトカゲから取れるから、それを集めてきてって言われているとこだったはずです。
The enemy will take a turn, and you get way more stamina back than you would anticipate. So the basic combat loop is we're using the basic attacks just to land damage, build up our element levels, and in most instances throughout the game, we're avoiding elements unless they're buffs or debuffs just because their animations are long. There are some exceptions to that coming up, but we also in the top left, there's that field element, and we used a fireball to kill one of those pups because it puts a red on the field, and with red on the field, red elements do more damage. So then we hit the 2-2-2 on this boss, cast a fireball at +2 because you can equip it at a higher level than its base. So now the fireball does more damage since we've equipped it higher level than its default. And there's a red on the field, so it does even more damage. And that just lets us one-shot that boss there real quick. I was not paying enough attention. Did we get a feather?
No, no feather.
そう
But we
そ
got
う
the
そう
fangs
そう。
and
ア
plenty
イ
of
テム選ん
fangs
でみるとね、
and
すっごい綺麗なんだよね。
So now we have to talk to Lena about the nature of our relationship. She was, are we taking it seriously? And we get to be mean to her a little bit more. So while that's going on and the cutscene's happening, there's another good opportunity for some donations here, Threech.
Fantastic. Thank you. We have a $25 donation from Renda who says, "Let's go, jerikandra. Great to see you showing this off after all the hard work you've put in. We may not get cat dance today, but instead let's see Lavos get taken down instead."
Hey, thanks, Ren.
We have a $500 donation from Marley who says, "Anonymous donates $500 with a comment that says no comment."
Wow.
And just as an update on the new Game Plus run, we are at $1,765 out of 4,000. So we're almost halfway there, chat. You are already doing an incredible job to make that happen. We want to see that. I want to see jerikandra show off the world record pace for Chrono Trigger. It's going to be awesome. For the new Game Plus run, it will be incredible. So if you want to see that happen as much as I do, get your donations in, put them toward that incentive.
Also, as a quick reminder, we are getting close to when we pick up Kid. So if people want to get their last minute snipes on the Kid name, this is probably your last opportunity. It's coming up pretty fast. So something weird happened and we kind of collapsed on the beach. And this is the very typical like RPG isekai situation. We're back home, but everything is wrong
世
and
界
everything's
シチュエーシ
different.
ョンっていう言
This
葉
is the Chrono Trigger is all about traveling through timelines. Chrono Cross is about
あれなんだ
traveling
ね。
through different
なんか
worlds.
世界って言葉
Like different
そのまま
multiverse kind of deal. So we've entered a world where when Surge was attacked as a kid by a panther demon, yes, a panther demon, that's how they explain it in game. He didn't survive in this world. So
うん
we're in a
そ
world
う
where we're
こっち来た
supposed to be
時の
dead.
ね
And it's very confusing to Surge, and we're going to go talk to Lena, and she's very not happy about us saying that we're Surge, because, I mean, she kind of had a crush on us even when we were a kid. So she tells us to go visit his grave, and that's going to set off the big sequence of consequences that gets the story rolling from the slow start of our chosen JRPG protagonist in a small village, is just heading off to visit this grave of our own grave because we're alive but not at
う
the
ん、あ、
same
そうそう
time.
そうそうそうそ
And
う
this is where if we were missing humor, there's a bunch of beach bums here. You can take those out. It's a nice little backup. And we're gonna meet
多分
Kid here.
ね
We're gonna do a fight. And
カ
this
テ
is
ゴリ
where the
名
routing of this
ね
game kicks
山
in. There's
猫
amazing notes for this game if you ever want to pick up just like a
になっ
casual
たまんま
speedrun.
終わるやつじゃ
Join
ない
the
かな
Chrono
多分
Speedruns Discord. There's a Chrono Compendium with a bunch of different notes. And the notes for this game go so hard. So ideally what happens here in this first fight is Kid has been gaining stats as we got our first level up in the background. So she could have plus magic, she could have plus strength. That's one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that stat level ups are random-ish. They get influenced. If you have bad luck, you have a higher chance of getting the stats, basically. So if you watch the damage that Kid does here on her first attacks,
だったっ
then we can
け
get an
ごめんね
idea of what
私
her
も
stats are and then route around that. And these tutorials from Salt and Pepper, before these tutorials finish, they always have 10,000 health. So we don't want to do any damage to them before the tutorial because then it's just wasted animation time. There's no point. So we saw 19 damage on
そう
the
多分山猫で終われるエンディングが確かなかったっけなかったらってごめんね
I wasn't watching her damage enough, so missed out if she has the strength up. But in general, we just want to take out Salt first, then we go after Pepor, and that leaves Karsh by himself. And there's a script for this fight on the best case
で
scenario.
も山猫
And
討
what
伐エンド
always
ってことか
happens
なそれとも
is
ちょっとね
Surge and Kid miss
いまいち
way
ね
too
分かってない
many
んだごめん
attacks
ね
with the percentages. And then your stamina gets out of
私も
whack, and
日
then
本
you
語
just
訳
have
を
to
ねやってみたんだけ
improvise.
ど
So
ね
right
い
now
まい
we've
ちよく分かってなく
got
て
Kid in negative. So we send Surge and negative at the same
あ
time.
山
So
猫と入れ替わるまでで終わり
turn, and
あ
then
りがとうございます
even though Karsh really only advanced the turn forward a few AP, we gained a bunch of stamina back. And that's what we call a stamina refresh. Because every enemy has what they call the AP in the background, where every time you use AP, which is using stamina or using an element, that counts down when it hits 0, then they get their turn. But there's a lot of ways we can manipulate this. They don't immediately get their turn. You can delay their turns by pressing multiple attacks at the same time, which we call stamina pushing. So if you use a 3-3, then the enemy won't get a turn until after you're done attacking.
Are we adult?
And, yeah, we do need kid's name here.
All right, let me quickly refresh. Yes.
なんかさ、一応さ、あれだよねっていう、山猫のまんま、
Thank you so much to everyone who donated. And I do want to make a quick note. Those name
なんかマブーレで暮らすっていうエンディングもあったような気がするけど、
So, oh, get ready because we're gonna have some good ones tonight.
Yeah, I was peeking at the name options so far, and this is the hardest part of the speedrun.
あ、コリオの砦までの、
this game, when you're playing on the PC version, does allow turbo. Don't recommend turboing this section.
ヒットじゃなくてアダルト。
If you say yes to kid, kid joins your party, you don't get Lena. You can do Fort Dragonia without Lena, but I don't recommend it. It's
Speaking
not
of
fun.
Lena and Pashul, what are their names coming up?
未来予知助かります。
All right, let's see. Lena's name, oh boy, is Bare Feet. All one word, capital B, capital F. And Pashul, oh, I'll let you know when you're ready.
Right, so bear.
Barefeet. The B and the F are capitalized, and it's all one word.
Oh, B and
You,
the F for
you got
capitals.
some extra spaces in there.
Oops.
うん、私もこれ分かんなかったね、最初。
All right, that look right.
Looks good to me.
All right, and we got Pashul.
Okay, Pashul. Oh, it's gonna be all lowercase. QP.
ピートで、
QP. QP. QP.
で、この子がキューピー、キューピー、キューピー、キューピー、キューピーになるらしいです。
Thank you to everyone who paid currency to make that happen.
どういうことだよ。
Oh, last night again there for a second to reach. So the short version of what I was explaining before is that the combat system has a lot of depth. Most of it you're never going to encounter casually because the game does not the best job of explaining it to you. And we're going to abuse the combat system heavily to reduce the number of turns that enemies get. So if we ever see Jerika doing a turn that looks slightly suboptimal, like why would you pause there? Why would you wait? That's usually because of stamina pushing. You have to make sure that you're timing the attacks in a particular
で、レナの名前もこれ、裸足って意味なの？これ、裸足って意味なのね。なんで？
Yep.
As opposed to the Chrono Trigger, where the enemies are mostly predictable on how they're going to move and where they're going to stay. Sometimes in Chrono Cross, they'll wander halfway across the screen. You'd be like, why are you there? I've never seen you there before. And that's just the Chrono Cross experience.
Exactly.
別に、ちゃんと靴履いてるのでは？なんで？なんでだよ。
And this is where picking Salt and, picking Lena and Pashul helps, because Pashul's a pretty heavy attacker, does a lot of physical damage, has a suboptimal stamina recovery, so it just makes this fight a little bit faster having Pashul here. The main reason we really want Lena is because Lena has a really high magic stat and she's blue innate. And there are certain elements in this game that can only be used by the innate color character of the element. One of them being a summon that we're going to pick up later called the Frog Prince. So we need somebody with decent magic stat who's blue. Lena fills that requirement, and she's going to help us carry us through the really big dungeon at the end of this run. So we're heading to Termina, and it joins anyway. There's Glenn. Hi, Glenn. I'm scared to look at Glenn's names right now, but
That's warranted, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those things we were talking about in the first dungeon, where we need the humor, the fang, the feather, and we're going to make some steel weapons out of these, which normally we shouldn't have access to. And this is one of these game facts moments where if you never looked up in a game fact, you wouldn't know that this item exists or that we can use it in the way that we're about to use it. So we're going to run past the blacksmith into this manor in the back of town, and there's a hidden chest underneath the stairs. It gives you the profiteer's purse. This is a accessory that just gives you more money at the end of battles, which is, it's all right. There's better accessories to use. But if you disassemble it at the forge, it gives you iron.
キットはそう、絶対に仲間になるはず。
At the start of the game, and we're getting a steel swallow and an iron dagger for Kid and Surge, which is going to make them do a whole bunch more damage than they should be doing at this point in the game, and it's going to make Viper Manor way more manageable. Because let me tell you, if you play this casually, the Marcy fight and the Lynx fight are mean. They can still be mean, but we've got better ways of dealing with them, and the steel weapons help a lot. So now we come to this sort of big choice at the early game. You have three ways of getting into the manor. You can pick up Pierre, Guile, or Korcha. We're going to go with Pierre because his requirement to get in is we just run outside and grab this medal from a kid running around, which let me tell you, how hard it looks sometimes, especially if you try to do it on fast forward. Yeah, no judgments. See,
ピエールで行くんだったら俺は嬉しい。
fast forward, it's gonna be terrible. The hitbox on that child. But all we have to do is get that medal, talk to Pierre, joins our party, and walk straight in the front door. There's no side dungeon or anything. The other two have entire side areas you have to go through. They're a pain in the butt.
We didn't name Pierre, right? I don't think he is
no.
on the.
Our next name is coming up is going to be, oh gosh, we've got everybody except for Glenn, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Oh, okay. Glenn's the last one. Cool.
やったー、ピエールルートだ。
So now we've got Pierre, and with Pierre in our party, we can walk in the front door. And one of the things with Pierre is that his
いろいろ
entrance,
大変だけ
we get
ど、
more salt, pepper,
好きなキャラですね、
and,
私も。
a third guest who I love dearly. He's fantastic. And entering this section, we got a lot of these fights with the guards. And past all of these guard fights, we want Pierre to be alive.
そうです。クロノクロス
He
の
may、be dead for a couple of fights.
RTA が今走られています。まあ EST1 時間半くらいだったはず。1時間45分か。
And I see we're already being nice with our accuracy. Come on, Surge, kid. Get your acts together. So after this, we charge the gate, and then Salt and Pepper appear, and then they bring in their new friend. And this is a tutorial on
な
revival.
んか有識者の皆さんから伺った限りだと、途中までのカテゴリとの、山猫になるところまでのカテゴリとのことです。
And they will always KO the person that's in the front of your party, which is why we have Pierre in front right now.
ちなみに、現在のイベントは、現在ね、再配信しているイベントは、フロストファタルズ2024という、フレームファタルズという、GTQ の中にあるね、女性の、いろんなね、意味での、その女性、意味でのっていう言い方もちょっとすごくあれなんだけれども、女性のによる、RTA コミュニティの、チャリティーイベントを、現在再配信しております。
Taking out Pierre there is a nice bonus because it goes down, it can be annoying. And then we just finish up, catch up, and that's the end of this fight. We can...
そうですね。
If you're feeling spicy, there is a bonus drop here you can get from a steal, but we'll be doing some steals later on. The power glove isn't really worth the animation time, but
女性が活躍することを、そうだね。せっかくだから詠唱しておきましょうか。
We gotta do a little mini game. If you have a couple quick donations, 3 each now would be a good time.
Sure do, and I'd love to give everyone an update. We are at $1,965 out of $4,000 for the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. We can make that happen, folks, but we are running out of time. We got to do that before the end of this run. So if you want to see that, go ahead and get those donations in. And I'd love to read a $50 donation
おそ
from
らく
Steve
初めてこの
Hartwell,
イベ
who
ン
says,
トを見る
"Good
と
luck
い
on
う
your
方
run,
がいらっしゃると
Jerikandra.
思い
Congrats
ま
on your
すので、
CT world
ちょ
record.
っと待って
Let's
く
get
だ
a
さい
train going
ね。
so she can do it again tonight."
Oh, thanks so much, Steve.
So we have to go in here. To get in the front door, we need a key. We're going to just go into the stable and help an old man, and he gives us a key without asking any questions. I feel like this is another just
プレイ中で
classic
失礼いたし
RPG
ます
trope
が、
here.
エションの方させていただきます。現在、ジャパニーズリストリームでは、フロストファタルズ2024を、公認で日本語ミラー配信しています。フロストファタルズ2024を運営するフレイムファタルズは、女性を中心とした RTA のコミュニティで、夏にはフレームファタルズ、冬にはフロストファタルズという RTA イベントを、Twitch の GDQ チャンネルで配信しています。で、今回のイベントはですね、全米女性法律センターを支援するチャリティー RTA イベントです。全米女性法律センターは、法律を通じてジェンダーの平等を実現し、特にマイノリティや貧困家庭の女性が直面する障害をなくす活動をしています。イベントでは寄付と関連してカテゴリの変更やエンディングの選択等が予定されており、各項目ごとに設定された目標寄付金額を達成した際に行われます。また、寄付金額を表に見立てたビット棒によってキャラクター名や選択肢などが決定されることもあります。寄付額に対する報酬は URL から、ご確認いただけます。コマンドはね、エクスクラメーションマークファタルズで見てみてください。寄付は、イエティでグッズを買うことや、ハンブルバンドルでバンドルを購入することでも間接的に寄付をすることが可能です。今回はですね、時差配信を行っているので、ジャパニーズリストリームでは、6日の午後15時頃から配信を開始して、休憩時間を挟みつつ、3月のね、11日深夜3時頃まで配信を行う予定です。最終日付近はオールナイトで行うなど変則的な時差配信となっておりますので、詳細は日本語のスケジュールをご確認の上、ぜひ最後までお楽しみください。というわけで、スケジュール貼っておきます。
This is completely random, and it's the number of times we have to spin the statue
そんなわけで、
to progress. So
イベントの趣旨はこんな感じです。
but statistically it seems like the two numbers being the same is a little bit less likely. So the worst that you're likely to see is 8-9. 9-9 is possible, but very rare. Best is 1-1, very unlikely. 1-2 is possible, more likely to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick up a couple of very nice accessories in this manner. There's a couple items, the Dragoon's Honor, which increases your accuracy and your strength, as well as your magic stat a little bit. And then there's going to be the Dragoon's Gauntlet later as well, which is +3 strength.
今とりあえず服パクって中いろいろうろうろしてるんだっけ？
We picked up earlier, which again we're not supposed to have yet, is going to make him hit really hard at the end of the dungeon. So we have to follow Glenn in here. While we're waiting on Glenn, we pick up this revive, and then we talk to the wall, and 2-4. Ooh, 2-4. That was close. That's still very good. That's on the
時差配信なので、ちょうどこちらで、その方がね、走られた欄が、配信されるってなった時に、ちょうどね、チャット欄にその奏者さんいらっしゃったりとかして、チャット欄がね、賑やかになることもありますね。
Depending on how spicy you're feeling on a Lynx run, you can skip this because we don't actually need as much money in this route. It definitely makes sense to pick it up anyway on a marathon run, though. You're never sure what's going to happen. So we're going to give the turn yellow to Pierre. We're going to equip that Dragoon's Honor onto Surge. It'll make him hit a little bit harder, and we also picked up that armor just for a little bit of safety, so that, Surge is going to take a little bit less damage. And this is the first time we're going to see us manipulating colors to our advantage. So these enemies are going to be green, so their opposite color is yellow. And what you can do is the turn yellow element can be used either offensively or you can cast it on your own characters. So if we cast turn yellow on Surge, who's normally white, he'll become white and yellow. And then that means that he'll be yellow, which is the opposite of the green enemies, and he does a little bit more damage with physical elements. If you want to do physical damage, you cast the turn yellow on your character. If you want to increase the magic damage that they take, you cast the turn element on the enemy, which will come up a little bit later. But you'll see that Surge is just doing way more damage than before. He was doing like 23 at the start, the first guard fight. You saw a 63 there for a second. We're ramping the damage very rapidly. And this is just using all of the overlapping game systems to our advantage at the same time. It'd be really nice if they would, actually hit instead of missing. Surge, Kid, come on.
Oh gosh, the misses.
This is the Chrono Cross experience, because sometimes you just go for it. You're like, we'll play it a little bit more risky, go straight for the 3-3, and then you just get punished.
こう見るとクロノクロスの戦闘システムマジ独特ですよね、
There's a
本
chest
当
coming
に。
up here that has the Dragoon's Gauntlet in it that I was talking about earlier. Every time you try to open it, Karsh yells at you. The game facts, the most popular game facts on the internet, I haven't checked it in a while. This may have been updated. It used to say that you couldn't get this here and you had to come back later. But what happens is if you actually interact with this chest 20 times, he gives up unless you have it.
うん
Which, to be fair, who's going to try that casually? I totally get it.
そう
But
レ
that
ベ
is
ル
a
の概
huge
念が
boost
な
to
い
our
ってい
damage.
うのだ
Plus
と、
3
ま
strength.
あ
So now, Surge's
PS
effective
作品
attack
だ
power
と
is
あれか
32.
な
Absolutely
サガフロ
bonkers.
とかもそうだ
And
け
we're
れ
going
ど
to
も
enter our code here, which is 24. As a reminder, this door sucks.
Thank you.
ただそれに加えてなんかさ
And then we're going to head into the
なん
Marcy
ていうの
fight.
か
So
な
if you have a quick
その
donation
属
here
性
for
の
each,
概念っていうの
So
が
now
め
be
ちゃく
good
ちゃ
time.
重要というか
Definitely. We have a $10 donation from Odo, who says, extremely proud of you, Jerika.
Oh no, thank you so much.
So this fight coming up is the first time where we're going to manipulate boss health pretty
同
significantly.
じよう
because
なねシステム
we're
の
going to go
ゲー
up
ム
against
って
Marcy, and
聞い
if
たこ
she
とな
goes
い
to
気がする
critical
なっ
health
て
where
いう
she's kneeling and she gets a turn, she's going to cast an Ice Blast on us, which is a very high level element that hurts a lot. She also likes to cast it twice, and it can freeze your characters. It's really bad. It can go as bad as just wasting time to possibly even wiping you if she freezes the wrong characters. So what we do on this fight is we count our number of misses, and if you're feeling really spicy, you count the exact damage. But in general, if you just follow the script we have, we've got some diverting scripts for if you miss here or not. And then what we're going to try to do is push her very close to critical health and then stop, let her take a turn. Then we're just going to do a ton of damage to her to finish her off before she gets her next turn and skip the ice blasts. And this is another reason why having Pierre up as alive is very useful, just because he's another target for Marcy to kick and slap when she's taking her turns.
あ
Surge and Kid still haven't figured out how to hit their attacks, but she's taking it out on Pierre, which is really nice.
Yeah,
ーなんだろう
that's
攻
great.
略を見ても正解がわからないなーってずっと思いながらいろい
So I
ろ
think if this doesn't kill, you should be able to finish the fireball.
ありますね私も
Yeah. Normally, that fight is less scary because Surge and Kid know how to hit their attacks. We also got the Ice Blast, which I wasn't going to mention in commentary until we got past it, because the Ice Blast is her common drop, which is a very powerful element we can make very good usage of, and her rare drop is an Iron, which we already have. We're not supposed to have it yet, but we do. So the Iron would normally be useful in a casual playthrough, but for us, we really, really want the Ice Blast. So instead, we just don't perceive the fact that they could happen until the fight is over, and hopefully we get the common drop. So now we've got one more guard fight, and then we've got the first Lynx fight, which is why this is Lynx 2%, or Lynx percent, or Lynx at Fort Dragonia. Because we're going until we fight Lynx the second time. This is not actually a 30-minute run. We're not giving the games committee that much of a panic attack. And Lynx is another fight where we're going to manipulate the
ち
health
なみに
pretty
本当に
significantly because
野生の解
he has
説の
a
方は
element
ね
called a
ぜひ
Nostrum equipped, which is a
もちろん
third tier healing
ちょ
element.
っと
It's
これ
consumable.
諸事情によ
Heals for
り
200 health, which is
その
a lot this early in the game, but it's also
性自認が女性の
bi-elemental.
方とい
So if
う
Lynx
女性もし
uses
くは女
Nostrum,
性
not
寄
only
り
does
の
it
方
give him a whole
と
bunch
い
more
う
health, make the fight
形
take a lot
には
longer.
なって
It's
し
going to
まう
make
んで
him
す
do a
が
lot more damage.
解説はね
But we can take
プ
advantage
レイ
of
中で
Lynx
も
because he has a couple
やってる最中で
programmed
も
counterattacks. So the first time you hit him with any magic element, that he's going to counterattack with an element
募集
that
してお
will
りますの
reduce
で
your magic damage done. And the first time you hit him with any white element, he's going to counter with
飛び入り参加も
anti-white.
全然 OK です
So what we do in this fight is we use a lot of 3/3s on Surge, and you just count a sort of like card counting in blackjack. Anytime you get a crit, you add 1. Anytime you get a miss, you subtract 1. So currently we're +1 because both 3s hit and we got a crit. And The strategy on this fight, just kind of at certain points, tracks. If your number is below this, do this strategy. If your number is above this, you can try to do this strategy. So we're still at +1, which is pretty good. And then when we get lower, we're gonna try and steal from him. Oh, did too much.
ちなみにチャットでの解説も大歓迎でございます。
Impressive. So
よろしくお願いいたし
normally
ま
would
す。
happen is we try to steal from him here because that would trigger the counterattack, and we also want the magic ring from Lynx here, please, thank you. And that would cause him to counterattack onto Kid. Then it would give us some more
キ
time
ッドのアダルトって
to
名前にちょっと笑ってしまう
attack him, get him low, and then we get to use the dash and slash. But unfortunately, Jerika got too good luck and did too much damage. So he used the Nostrum immediately. But it's all right because he's being relatively nice here. Lynx is like some of the bosses. Whenever he does physical attacks, he can use 1, 2, or 3 attacks, and he can use the light, the medium, or the fierce attacks. So when he's feeling really mean, what he can do, he just walk up to Surge and just go wham, 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 and use his heavy attack 3 times. And you're like, please, please, Lynx, don't do this to me. Why are you like this? So not only is he keeps only doing the single attack, he's doing the light one, which is really nice. And we should be, pretty close to dead here.
Did not go well.
So we have a nice scene coming up here where Kid is going to get poisoned, and then, of course, continuing the Lena theme, the fastest option is to be mean to Kid and abandon her. We're going to get the name drop of Chrono Trigger, but this is going to take a little bit, so if you have more donations to reach, now's a great time.
Most definitely. Oh my goodness, chat. We have passed the halfway point for getting that Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run right after this one. But folks, we are running out of time. So I have
全員マイナスになると
We
7
hit
ターン
the statues
自動的に飛ばされるのを利用してい
4
る。
times. And 2 plus 4 is 6. So chat, can we see a $6 donation train? And I want you to tell me, what is your favorite PlayStation 1 game? Out of all of the ones that were released, what is your favorite? You tell me on a $6 donation train, add that donation toward the incentive to get that Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. We are running out of time, but we are helped along by things such as the $25 donation from Namvan, who says, go get them, Jerika. We love you.
Yay, Namvan, thank you.
You still have plenty of time, by the way, to reach. Keep going.
Fantastic. Thank you. We've got a $25 donation from Dr. John W., who says, happy to donate during Chrono Cross, one of my favorite games when I was growing up. To meet a challenge incentive for Chrono Trigger, one of my favorite games of all time. Let's go. And we've got... We've got a $50 donation from Squirrel611, who says, bonus run, bonus run, bonus run. Now that is the energy we're going to take into making this happen, folks. We are over halfway there. We can make it happen, but we have until the end of this run to get those donations in and make that possible. And
so we just jumped off a cliff. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, go ahead.
We just jumped off a cliff because we were in a bad situation. We stole Kid's dagger because, well, spoiler alert, she's not joining the party ever again, and we can sell her dagger. It's a little bit extra money. It's good safety. And it turns out that the dagger that Lynx threw has a very rare poison on it, and this is one of the big splitting points in the story. There's a whole side quest. You can go back to your home world, go find a Hydra, get the cure, come back. Gives you access to one of my favorite characters in this game, Razzie. But unfortunately, that's all optional, and it's not fast. The other side effect is if we skip that whole section and we decide just to leave Kid to her own fate, that's how we get access to Glenn. And Glenn is absurdly good. Glenn is green elemental, very high strength growth, has good stamina recovery, and he has one of the few dual techs in this game with Surge. Because they still have the dual and triple tech system from Chrono Trigger, but there's far less of them. Not every character has a dual tech with every other character. That would be absurd to keep track of. But they have, as a shout out to Chrono Trigger, they have X-Strike.
Yes.
X-Strike is really good because it's really high power, uses both of their strength stats, and it's red elemental. One moment, gotta drink some water, so take a donation for each.
Absolutely. I'd also like to add in here that if you're not compelled by the PlayStation 1 era donation train, Eden Bun sends in $50 and says, can we start a chain for favorite Chrono Cross character? Mine is very obviously Razlie. Good luck on the run. Let's meet the Chrono Trigger incentive. Less than 3.
That's awesome. So it sounds like Railcoon, you got another favorite there, Razlie going.
Yeah, Razlie. I love Razlie.
All right, so we're kind of doing some errands around here. We borrow Corch's boat. He doesn't want to give it to us because we're not saving Kid, but his mom says, I'll borrow the boat and give it to him instead.
Yeah, so we are taking the boat, and Matcha is great. We love Matcha. She's got the big, I'm not going to take any crap from anybody energy.
Yep.
And we go back to Termina,
そうですね。
and this is where we're going to get Glenn, which is me saying this as a reminder because don't
Snail
let
to
me
doか。
forget to
Good
rename
thought.
Glenn. I've only done this a couple of times during live runs, so that's why I'm calling it Call It a Me.
Thanks,
We're
I
gonna-
appreciate it.
We're going to hit an element store here, which is going to give us access to a couple really nice elements. And then we're also going to go back to the blacksmith. So this is kind of our intermediary shopping trip. This gets us set up for the next couple of dungeons. And after those next couple of dungeons, well, this category's over because we're stopping this run about a third of the way through. We're going to pick up some consumables that heal some status effects that can happen in the next dungeon. We're going to pick up some curing elements, as well as a couple very specific attack elements that we're going to make usage of throughout the dungeons coming up. And the important thing is that the iron tier of weapons, as opposed to the copper tier, which is the starting tier of weapons, well, it's the second tier. The iron tier of weapons almost all carry a accuracy boost on them. So even though Lena doesn't do a lot of damage, getting her iron ladle will actually increase your accuracy. And whenever we're charging up the element levels on Lena, which we're normally going to do by just spamming a lot of one attacks, misses are bad. So we get her iron ladle anyway, just because on average it winds up being much faster. It doesn't take very long to menu for. And just makes the route more consistent. So now we've got an iron sword for Glenn, we've got an iron ladle for Lena, and we're just going to head back, recruit Glenn. Now would be a good time to give us the name for each,
Yeah.
because he's just about to join.
Oh, Glenn, you thought it was Frog, but it was me. Feet.
Oh, no.
Feet with a capital F, lowercase eat.
Okay. The feet fatales have spoken.
Today's the day.
So much feet. What did we do?
彼は
I
なんて名
blame
前になっ
Big
ちゃったの
Scared
か
for
な
this. Shoutouts to Binary Breakers. Good community of a bunch of non-binary and other gender non-conforming people that I am a part of.
Pete,
Big Scared
なんでだよ。
as well was the focus of running.
だから
Who brought that whole feet
なんでだよ。
So we are now we've got Glenn in our party. We bring Matcha in because if you don't put her in the party, she's just a really long animation where she swims away. So it's actually faster to put her in the party than just swap her out immediately.
なんでフィートなんだよ。
Up here is really important.
なんで足なんだ
This
よ。
shop here has
どう
access
し
to
て
really, really good elements like Genius buffs your magic stat, Eagle Eye makes you more accurate, a bunch of these turn elements. There's also Weak-Minded, which lowers enemies' magic defense. You can sense a theme here because we're setting up
エグゾディ
a
ア。
good magical attacker. Now we've got a way to
そう、あれ
lower
だし、あれですね。一応選択肢の中にはね、そう、フロッグっていうね、カエルっていうのもあったんだけどね。
Blue magic user earlier on is going to be very important. Well, we're going to augment that as much as we can. And this is another great thing about the notes for Chrono Cross is these.
レナもさ、裸足だしさ、なんだろう、これ。
And if you just follow the notes the community has, they will help you get through them. These are kind of a mess if you've never tried them before. And Handy in particular has put a lot of work into his notes, making them very easy to follow, not only telling you like what level you're equipping things to, but we also resort the elements at several points to change where they are appearing on the list. And he's got really good notes to help new players go through this a little bit faster. So shout outs to Handy, Super Handy, and chat. Has put in a lot of effort to make this game a lot more accessible to people. So if you ever did want to try a Chrono Cross speedrun, maybe a Lynx run like Jerika's doing right now, there's pretty great notes on the Discord for you to check out.
Yeah, definitely. Huge shout out to Handy. He'll also come hang out in your stream.
Yeah.
必ず当たる。あ、そうなん
Chrono
だ。
Cross enjoyer is that there's just this sort of sixth sense. Wait, somebody's speedrunning Chrono Cross, and then they all just appear in your stream chat, and then they just hang out and they're wholesome and cheer you on. It's great.
Yep.
So before we can get to Fort Dragonio, there's this big mist and foggy, and it turns out there's a ship here that has like a fog generator on it, and they pretend to be a ghost ship to like scare people away and rob them. And then we get attacked by the real ghost ship, so we get delayed here a little bit. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. There are 3 required fights. One of them is just normal enemies, and you can run away from it, because you can run away from every battle in this game, even bosses. And it just lets you retry the fight. But this fight, when you run away from it, Fargo just goes, oh, not enough challenge for you, huh? And it skips the fight. He just sasses you a little bit and you move on. So it's one of like 3 fights, I think, that forced encounters you can completely skip by running away. And this is where Glenn comes in very, very common, because Polly's mean. So Glenn is also a third person who can cast elements while we're setting up. So you cast the turn blue on Surge, will make him do more physical damage against a red enemy. Makes the Ice Blast do more damage. And then Surge just goes to town. Unfortunately, Polly's AP, which is how quickly it acts, can roll very low or very high. So you can, if you get lucky, kill Polly before it takes a turn, or Polly can use the flap attack there and just take out Lena. Thankfully, Lena survived.
Yes.
Because we do like it when she gains stats. We do want her to keep gaining magic. She's at 11 magic, pretty nice. Now we're going to take on Fargo, who's blue element. And if you remember earlier how I said the X strike is red element, that's going to come in really handy because we can strengthen, which will increase the strength value of Surge, which will make X strike hit harder. It'll put a red element on the field. Then we can turn red, which will make him do more damage against the blue element. And then Fargo, he's trying to be threatening, but it doesn't really work because he uses a strengthen on himself, which gives us a full red field, which is an even bigger increase to red elements when he's weak to red elements. And then we just X strike him for ridiculous amounts of damage. Watch this damage.
Now that's smart.
すげえな、火力出ん
So
な。
Fargo gives us a nice little demonstration of the power of manipulating the field effect in the top left corner. That's also important because in order to use summons, not only do they have to be used by the same color character, but the field has to be fully the color of the summon you want to use. So we have to do that a little bit later on. Every time we want to use a summon on Lena, we need to make the field entirely blue. We do have another short break here for a quick donation for each.
Absolutely. Just want to update everyone again on our total. We're over halfway, but we're at $2,278 out of $4,000 for the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. We've just got about an hour left in the estimate, folks. So if you want to donate, if you want to see that happen, there is no better time than now. You are running out of your opportunities to do so. So exclamation mark donate to get that link in chat. Follow that and apply it to the incentive, and you can make that happen. But you got to do it quick because we are running out of time.
Ring that, click that donate button.
Ring that, click that donate button.
All right, so chat, here's another opportunity to guess. 1, 2, or 3. Low numbers, good. High numbers, bad. We have an RNG section coming up where 3 different pirates could have the key. We check them in a particular order. Usually finding the key faster is good. But we're also going to go for Ghost Skip here, Ghost Dance, where you can lead this ghost in circles. because you have to clear several text boxes on that guard, and if you very particularly circle around the room baiting the ghost, you can do this entire section while skipping this fight. It's one of those things that's worth it to go for. If you miss it and you're still not super practiced on it, just kill the ghost.
Yeah.
It's also, these enemies give a lot of money, so it gives a lot of safety to the money route, even if you do miss it. You had a good start there, just got you the tip of his arm, unfortunately. Yep. And if you're a new runner and you ever run into a problem here, make sure you close all of the text boxes on that pirate. If you leave before you close all of them, the biggest boss in this game is doors, I swear.
I know.
Doors are the worst. But if you ever leave without closing all the text boxes on that pirate in the corner, you'll get the secret 4th key option, which is where you have to talk to all 3 of the other pirates and then go back and he says, oh, I forgot I have the key. And he'll hand it to you. So if you ever get 4th key, that's because you didn't close the text box. That is completely avoidable. I see a lot of 1s, some 2s, a couple 3s. 5s is not an option. I'm sorry, chat.
All right, let's see if it's 1. Oh yeah,
hey, 1.
First key, let's go.
And there's a little bit of a split in the community on which order you talk to the guards in. So the one that Jerica did is great if you do that and it's the first key, it's fantastic. So nice little luck to make up for Surge and Kid not knowing how to hit their attacks so far. I swear this enemy behaves different on Radical Dreamers Edition. What you just did dodges it every time on console, but it doesn't on PC, and it annoys me. So we're going to make our way to the JRPG required undead boss, which we are going to take advantage of by healing it to do some damage. We got a couple dodges here. This whole section is really annoying, especially the little skull enemies. But this is another good opportunity for some donations if you want, Threech.
I love it. We've seen some 1s, 2s, 3s, but we've also got some 9s, including in the form of a $36 donation from Azakale, who says 6 tickets for 6 games, please. Final Fantasy IX, Lunar 2 Eternal Blue, Final Fantasy Tactics, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Parasite Eve, oh, and Chrono Cross, of course. Let's get that Chrono Trigger incentive met. Less than 3. Thank you so much. And we've got a $10 donation from Kerplop, who says, Chrono Trigger was the first JRPG I ever played, and it's still a crown jewel in my video game experience. Gotta see it run. Absolutely, folks. We've crossed $2,500 toward the $4,000 total for that run. So if you want to see it met, make those donations happen, put them toward that incentive. We can do this, chat. $1,500 to go. Absolutely, we can do that by the end of this run, but now is the time.
So currently, just to catch you up on story, the pirates who attacked us, poisoned us, and took us prisoner have now trusted us to helm the wheel of their ship because Fargo's arm is injured. And now we're going to fight this giant skull. So we're going to do most of the damage here with Surge doing physical attacks, but he's going to use Diminish, which reduces the damage of all elements, but it doesn't reduce healing. So when we're just going to be moving the turns onwards, we're going to have a point here where Lena's got a bunch of element levels, and we do need to advance things forward. So why not throw this Cure Plus onto the boss for about 100 damage? Hey, that's not too shabby. And the Eagle Eye, what the Eagle Eye does, because I haven't fully explained that yet, is it sets the accuracy of all of our attacks 1, 2, or 3 to 99%. That is not a display error. It is not 100%. It is 99%. You can miss. Ask me how I know. Every runner, if you run this enough, you will get trolled by a really bad 99% miss. It's awful, but it's just part of running this game. And the first time it happens, clip it, post it in the Discord, and you'll get a lot of sympathy from the runners.
Exactly.
But that was a pretty good fight. We didn't get the 99% miss. And now we're going to move back down here because there's a Magnify element that appears in the second shop here, and Magnify is fantastic. It's the opposite of the Diminish element that boss just used on us. Increases element damage by 50%, just a straight multiplier. So we got a lot of force multipliers coming into action here. We got Genius, which increases your magic stat.
作品独特
Weak-minded, which reduces magic defense. We've got Equipment, which raises the base magic value on Lena, like the magic ring. We could get another magic item here. We've got the Dragoon's Honor, which increases magic. And then we've got Magnify for just a straight extra 50% damage. And then we're going to use a Summon, which is really high power. So a lot of the really tough bosses that we have trouble dealing with quickly in this dungeon, we can use the Summon for by Lena. The problem is it's a really long animation. So we have, over time, problem solved a lot of these bosses to get through them without the summons, just because it is so much faster if you can get away with it. But the problem is, like, Tarusoid has like 1200 health. It's just ridiculous. Using the summon is just the fastest way through of a lot of these upcoming fights. So coming up, we have the return of Salt and Pepper. And we also have the www hype. Whether or not you like the W or the WH, get ready to spam it in chat. It will become very obvious on when you need to spam it. It's a very fine Chrono Cross tradition. I think chat can handle being asked to spam things. I think that's something they like to do.
Yes.
And the other thing we're doing here is we're going to switch all of our strength accessories over to Glenn, because he's opposite color of Salt and Pepper, and he's opposite color of one of the second to last boss in this dungeon. So Surge is being turned into a support. Glenn is our main carry here, and we're just gonna blast through this dungeon. If you've only played this game casually and you haven't seen the speedrun strats, you're in for a treat. There's a lot of really creative things that we do in this dungeon. But get ready, chat. Here comes the spamming. So this tutorial here, they're teaching us about how you can trap elements. It's a whole interesting system casually. We're never going to make usage of this in the speedrun. It's too slow, and the elements that you can trap with it are generally not worth the animation time. But in the tutorial, they just trap the elements so they can't use it, and Pepper gets really mad. So what did you just say? And if you get lucky, when Pepper is really angry at Salt, he can crit like he just did, and that matters. That takes away from his health total. So nice crit, Pepper. Thank you very much.
Yes. Always helping out.
So in this fight, what we're looking for is whether or not... Ooh, another crit. Dang, Pepper's angry today. We're looking for if Glenn crits on Salt, which he didn't. So we're going to have to do a little bit extra damage to Salt to take him out. And while we're doing that, we're going to cast the Bush Basher on the Pepper, get some more green elements into this top left corner, which also makes Glenn hit harder. Then we're going to switch over to Surge, going to do a little bit of filler damage. And then we're going to cast another Bush Basher, so the field is all green. So now Glenn is super buffed. And then, Glenn, come on. If Glenn got a crit there, that would have just finished the fight. He's not feeling cooperative. Lena's missing with her ladle, which is unfortunate because the ladle makes the best sound on a fierce attack. It's hilarious. I hope you get to hear it on Son of a Gun coming up. Glenn's got 18 strength. That's pretty good. Iron Vest, Iron Mail. Those are the safer options. I like the Vest and the Mail. They have rare drops of another Gauntlet, which is +3 strength, or a Skyjin Ring, which is +3 magic. Very great offensive options, but having those over the armor drops makes this next fight a nightmare, because we're going to go up against the Red Dragon here. Definitely recommend remembering to touch that save point.
Oh yeah, good thought.
Because one of the nice things on the Radical Dreamers edition is they added autosaves, and just touching the save points gives you an autosave. So especially throughout this dungeon, there's long sections where something can happen. Save point on a marathon, you just touch it, gives you the autosave, you can keep moving. But the Red Dragon is one of the only fights in this game where when you run away from it, it doesn't let you menu. Most bosses, when you run away, they'll let you open up the menu, heal, change your equipment, and that kind of stuff before you go back and challenge them again. Red Dragon just gets upset at you for running away and starts the fight again.
I was looking at the names of the people and I was like, wait, who's who on this?
Yeah. I had a live marathon run where they named everybody the same name, and it was a nightmare. Oh my goodness. So the Red Dragon has a really nasty Fire Breath attack. We really don't want him to use it on Lena. So what we're going to do is we're going to be buffing up Glenn, making him blue, which puts a blue element on the field and also weakens that Fire Breath. And then we're going to wait for him to fire breath. And then we're going to use a magnify and then use the ice blast on Lena, which is a really nice high level blue element. So now we've got the field in the top left to 2 blue, so his fiery breath does less damage. You see how much damage that does with 2 blue on the field. Now imagine if he does that on Lena with the reds there. It's awful. So now that that's happened, it looks like we got a little bit off script. So
yes, we did.
I'm trying to figure out. I think you're still fine.
Oh. Does Glenn have the revive?
I think Surge has it right now. Right? Should be on level 2.
I think you're right.
So we can still get past this. He is going to use another fire breath because we got a little bit off script here. And we just got to hope that he doesn't use the fire breath on the wrong person. If it goes on Surge, Surge should be good. Another Aqua Ball should... Oh yeah, Cure Plus would work too. Just going to get more blue on the field.
Yeah. Oof.
Good heal, yeah.
いけんのかこれ。
He's low. If you could throw a high level Aqua Ball with Lena, that should hopefully finish him off. Come on, fall over.
Oh man. All right.
You should still have the AP to attack with Glenn after this as well.
Nice. What? Oh my god.
おお。
He
So?
was so close to dead. Oh, that's so rude. Okay, so we're gonna miss an opportunity to gain strength here on.
Oh,
Glenn,
demo.
but we got through it.
Get out.
That's why
the main
even in the marathon, it's like just touch the save point. Don't mess
Yeah.
with
まあまあまあ。
Exactly.
Oh,
but
勝ったもん
Glenn.
勝ちですよ
did
こ
you
んな
heal
のは。
Glenn?
Nope.
Well, you can run away and heal him in the post-battle thing, and then just go back in.
Whoops.
It's fine. Everybody's wound up in that situation. We had a little bit of a butt clench situation. We got through it, and now we have to fight the 3 Devas. This is actually a pretty difficult fight because Marcy, I would definitely recommend running.
I know. Oh man.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a heal. Oh, I guess the tablets would have healed.
Yeah, just use the consumables. But now we'll have to go to the menu, unfortunately, but it's fine because you can run away from every fight in this game. And most of the time, they just stand there and let you open up the menu and do what you need to do. It's really what makes this game really accessible to newcomers.
I just wanted to showcase that for y'all. That's all.
Because if you make a mistake and you're like, oh my God, I can't win this fight anymore, you can just run away. You're not really going to be in dangers of game overing unless you don't know how much danger you're in, which has definitely happened to new runners every now and then. But then you'll know when the good places to run away are. But the key strategy here is we want to take out Marcy first. Marcy has very low AP, so she acts a lot, and she still has very powerful attacks.
機動精神的なものを感
Her
じる。
HP meter hasn't really gone up a whole lot, so she does go down pretty easily. With both Glenn and Surge having pretty high strength values and casting that strengthen, what we're going to do is we're going to try and just X-strike her, and it should just take her out. We have pretty high strength. Like, come on, yeah, there we go. And what that means is now we've got Glenn, who's been buffed, who's the opposite color of Zoa, which you have to say with some emphasis because it's all caps.
Yeah.
And he should be able to take out Zoa pretty easily here, do a bunch of damage, and then Karsh by himself is not much of a threat. Zoa does high damage, but is very slow acting. We definitely don't want to leave him alive for too long because if he gets to the turn after that one, he's a really hard-hitting element. You don't want to see it. So this fight's going pretty well. We just, wanted to show off the reset, just running away to start a fight over again.
Exactly.
Great showcase, Jerika.
We
But
love the
while we're
reset.
cleaning up,
Yeah,
sir,
if we
I
have
was
a
gonna
second.
say, while we're cleaning up Karsh here, we do have another cutscene coming up. Great time for some donations.
Love to hear it. Thank you so much. All right, just updating everyone on that New Game Plus run for Chrono Trigger. Immediately following this run, which means we are so running out of time, folks. We are at $2,634 out of 4,000 total. 65% of the way there, but chat, we have to keep going. We have to keep those donations coming in. And I would love to give you some updates on the donation train that we posited earlier for your favorite PS1 game. And there's some patterns here that I'm seeing, including in a $50 donation from the Knight Who Goes Knee, Crash Bandicoot 3 has to be my favorite PS1 game. I gotta agree with you. Honestly, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there. We got a $6 donation from 3Pup, who also says, my favorite PS1 game is Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. I like when the funny Bandicoot goes, whoa! Naughty Dog, hire me. We got a $6 donation from Chibi Carrera, who says, my favorite PS1 game is Crash Bandicoot, but I also really like Pepsi Man. And then $6 from Namben, who says, favorite PS1 game, Star Ocean, The Second Story, or Final Fantasy VII.
So believe it or not, this is a boss. Doesn't really look like a boss. Doesn't have a lot of health like a boss. But this is a stand-in because there's an optional side quest you can get. You can go do. We skipped it. But if you don't do that side quest, this boss, at the air quotes, gives you the blue summon that we were talking about earlier. I don't know why, but it's really useful for us because right after this fight is when we get our 5th element level. Oh, actually we got it before this, but we get the 5th element level right at about the same time. Didn't get the freeze, unfortunately. You can get lucky, freeze this enemy, and then he doesn't get to use his annoying attacks, but you should be fine to just punch him from here.
Yeah, actually, he gets kind of bad if you let him stay alive too long.
Yeah. That burn, what that does, the red dot above feet there is Surge just got burned. Sorry, feet just got burned, which lowers his defenses, which is a little bit unfortunate. But this enemy doesn't have a ton of health, like I was saying, so just a little bit more damage. There you go, and he falls over. So now we've got Frog Prince. This has to be equipped on at least a level 5 element slot or higher. It can only be equipped by a blue element character, and in order to use it, the field effect in the top left has to be all blue. And now we talked a little bit about this, but I'm going to get a little bit more into the weeds of the combat system to explain how we do this. As casually, this is really hard to do if you don't know how some of these things work. So whenever you use an attack or an element or anything, the AP value of an enemy counts down. A 1 attack costs 1 AP, a 2 attack costs 2 AP, a 3 attack costs 3 AP. Those all use the same number of stamina, so 1, 2, and 3 stamina. Elements use 1 AP but cost 7 stamina. So what you can do is if you get everybody to have high element levels and then you let the enemy move, even though you're using a ton of stamina, you can cast 3 elements for 3 AP, and the enemy doesn't get their turn, which then lets you fill up the field effect to be all blue and you can cast the summon a lot more easily that way. This is never explained anywhere and makes using summons very difficult until you get the field effects, which are literally in the final dungeon of the game. So a lot of people casually playing through for the first time just don't understand how to use summons because if you're just using them how you would think to use them casually, it seems impossible. The key is generally to charge up the element levels, let the enemies act, and then use your elements right after they act to give you the most amount of time to fill up the field and then cast the summon. These bats are the biggest trolls. Okay. Because whenever they do that, they can also switch directions on you. Also, if you get too close to them, they can turn around and switch directions on you. It's the worst.
The worst.
And if you follow them too close behind, they slow down because they see that you're close, and then they can randomly turn around while they're going slow. Bats are the worst. I think those count as an RPG jerk bird if you have that emote unlocked in chat. So this section of Fort Dragonia, there are 2 puzzles and 2 bosses on this lower floor. So that's the first puzzle, got trolled by the bats, and now we're moving on to Giant Gloop.
You can do these by more bats?
Oh, come on, bats, please. You can do the bosses in any order you want, but Tarusoid is a big pain in the butt. High defense, high damage, and tons of HP. So what we generally do is we go from left to right, because when we take out Giant Gloop first, it gives us another level to gain some stats, gain more strength, gain more magic, make the Tarusoid fight safer and less annoying. When I first started playing this game, I didn't consider this, and I did Tarusoid first and just made my life more difficult for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Do Gloop first, it's way easier. And also how we're talking about how it can be difficult to fill the element levels on the field. Well, this boss uses a lot of blue elements, and in order to make it more quote-unquote difficult, partway through its script, it will use a blue field to make its blue elements hit harder. But, so we can take advantage of this, we're going to Genius on Lena, and then we can use some elements and just set this up because this enemy's health isn't very high. So even though the boss will resist the blue damage and take less damage, it's still going to do enough just to kill them in one hit here with this Frog Prince. So depending on how unlucky you get here, the freeze can happen, it can throw you off, but Surge got frozen, we don't care about that anymore. We got Blue Field, we got the Genius off, we have Magnify, so now this Frog Prince is gonna hit pretty hard even though it's on a blue enemy, and that should just finish the fight. Oh, just a little bit of health left.
I hate when that happens.
Got the low roll. I spoke a little too soon.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention to Lena's magic either, if it's up to snuff.
I think she has 12. We can look here. 12 should be fine. I think you just got low rolled. Oh, she has 13 magic, 14 now, yeah. That's surprising that Gloop survived that, actually. So we have another puzzle section coming up before the next fight, so another quick donation would be great, Threech.
Awesome. Thank you so much. For everyone keeping track at home, we are getting closer to that $4,000 mark. And just so you are aware, when we meet that incentive for Chrono Trigger New Game Plus, that will put us at nearly $70,000 raised for the National Women's Law Center. So if that is a cause that is important to you, we know it's important to us. We would love to see your donations for that. And don't forget, you need to apply them to the incentive. Come on, folks. We are so close. We're running out of time. Put those donations in and make that happen. I know I want to see the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, so these enemies are the worst. They like to phase in and out of reality. You could run through them while they're phased out, but the problem is they are barely visible when they're phased out. You can't see them very well, and how long they stay phased out is very random, and how they move while they're phased out is very random. So generally your best bet is just to run straight at them and hope they behave, which neither of them did, of course.
Yeah.
The other thing is that unlike bosses, normal enemies' AP rolls at the start of a fight can roll a 0, which means they act first. And they have a really powerful yellow element, which can actually just one-hit Glenn. So you don't want to get into these fights just because it's really mean to Glenn. But we got lucky on that. None of them used it. So here's Tarusoid. Tarusoid's scary, and the entire fight we have choreographed here is to try and make this as safe as possible, because he's got some really hard-hitting physical attacks, which if they focus down Lena, can do tons and tons of damage. Okay, I'm sorry I willed that into existence. That's my fault, Jerica. So what we're gonna do is he also has really high magic defense and high health. So we're going to go through a couple things here. We're going to use a weak-minded to lower his magic defense. We're going to set up a Magnify. We're going to Genius Lena. We're going to use all of our force multipliers just to make the Frog Prince hit even harder. But we have this routed out so that she defends first. Oh. The nice thing is that when it comes to strengthen, genius, etc., those persist through death. So she's still geniused, even though she died, which is way more generous than a lot of games would give you here. The problem is now we need to set up full blue fields. I think you can.
Yeah.
I don't know which version of the notes you're using, but there should be something there.
Let's give it a try.
The plus side is that his next attack is single target. So if this goes wrong, we can just run away, reset, try again. We're not in danger of getting game over here.
Oh, except Surge is...
Yeah, Surge is negative stamina because of the revive.
Shoot, I didn't think about that.
I think you just need to charge up some element levels. Hope he goes after somebody that's not Lena. Don't use your blue elements yet, just charge up the levels. let him act and then try to get it off afterwards.
Or just defend, maybe.
Yeah. So just get choke slam on Lee.
Oh.
Yeah, you just got to reset.
All right. Well,
If he went after Surge, Surge could have probably survived that hit, and then we'd be able to recover it. But he's deciding he doesn't like Lena today.
no. Oh, I fast forward on.
That was also just like unfortunate because with the defend on Lena, and she's got the iron. I don't remember if she has the mail or the vest. She has a high chance to survive that second hit, and she just got high rolled. So just a little bit unfortunate. Tarusoid gaming a little bit too hard today. So we're gonna try that again. Gonna set everything up, use the weak minded. We're gonna genius Lena. We're gonna use magnify, let him take a turn, and then we're gonna use the Frog Prince. And with Lena having 14 magic, plus the Dragoon's Honor, plus the magic ring, it's gonna do a ton of damage. Just need him to stop bullying Lena, please.
そう。ボス戦がね、とりあえず逃げられるっていうのはいいなと私も思う。
All
It's a
right,
good start. We got the
please.
genius off. We don't want to magnify before the backdrop. Come on!
Wow, I just cannot win here.
The part of the problem here is that since Lena died earlier, she has a little bit less HP than she normally would.
Oh, yeah. Let's do...
So I think you got good element levels. I think if you just defend and hope he goes after somebody else, you're fine. He just needs to hit somebody other than Lena.
It's just, he just hates Lena today.
What is this?
Oh, man.
This is absurd.
I never have this problem. This never happens.
Would you say this has happened before?
If we have
Never
a quick
happened.
moment, I just wanted to jump in here and let you know that we do have a supportive message for you. $100 donation from Anonymous that says, yes, that jerikandra.
Yeah, I think
You
we
got
had some
this.
good luck donations from the crowd to empower Lena to survive these. So if you got any, go for it.
How
Yes,
about a
please.
$5 donation from Sentient Sword that says, just showing support for the runner. Go jerikandra, farm those cats.
Aw, thanks, Sentient Sword. And thanks, Anonymous,
Nice.
too. All right, went off to Surge. That's good. That's different.
Yeah, so the first hit goes after Surge, and we've seen the damage that he's done with the choke slam attack. We should knock on wood, knock on my head, be good
ち
here.
ょ
So
う
you set
ど
up the
要になる人が
minded, get
狙
the
いまくっ
genius
てるから
on Lena. We don't want to use the magnify yet because magnify works on any element. Even if it's a physical attack, it'll make it do 54% more damage.
うまくセ
Still
ット
goes
が
after Lena. What the heck?
想定している
So
動
if we
きをうまくできな
magnified
いとい
early,
うか
that would do more damage, which is bad. So now we magnify. And now we need to fill the elements grid in the top left, sorry, the field effect with blue. So what we're going to do for that is we just set up a lot of these level 1 blue attacks.
Oh, you're killing me.
I think you're still fine on stamina.
AP? Okay.
Yeah.
As long as I can get another off of...
Yeah, because he has 12 AP. So as long as you don't get another miss, you're fine.
Don't say that.
No!
Oh my god, you're killing me.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said
Oh.
that.
And not only one more miss, I had like 3 more misses right there. Oh my god.
おー
I take
お
responsibility.
ー
The first
Right.
2 were just him hating Lena. The third one, that one was on me.
Alright, we got through it. Like you said, it's a scary fight.
ナイスって感じですね
So that's why you should do Tarusoid second and not
before
Gloop
Gloop.
second. So we have another short puzzle segment here, Threech, if you have some donations.
Yeah, thank you so much. As an update, we're at $2,659 out of $4,000 to make Chrono Trigger New Game Plus glitchless run after this. jerikandra has the world record in this run. We want to see that happen, folks. We're getting toward the end of this run. We've got about half an hour left in the estimate, but it could go faster than that. So if you want to see Chrono Trigger, it's one of the best games of all time. Now is the time to donate to see that. It's going to be so great. We love to see speed runs of it. Thank you so much to Heldon Sue Brett, who donates $50 and says, I realized I hadn't click that donate button yet today, and I love a bonus run incentive. Let's go, chat. So everyone click that donate button.
Oh yeah, thanks so much.
もうちょっとな気がするん
Also,
だけれ
Handy
ど
brought
も
up a good point in chat. Thanks,
私
Handy,
走
for
られるんだろう
answering a
か
lot of questions people are asking in chat
yeah.
while we're getting bullied by Tarusoy. You'll notice if you've been watching the run so far that jerikandra keeps changing who's in the lead of the party. And that's not just for aesthetics. What happens is anytime we use a buff spell, it will default target the first player in the party. So whenever we're on those fights where we're going to be using a lot of stuff on Lina, you put Lina in front. When we're buffing our physical attackers a lot, we like to put them in front. So this is Son of a Gun. I like to call them creepypasta because they make really weird faces. And we're going to set up, interesting gimmick. This happens in a lot of JRPGs where they have really high defenses and they start changing whether or not they have high physical or high magical defense off and on. Glenn, please, come on.
Seriously?
But what we can do is with enough damage from a summon, which Lina has high enough magic, we should be fine here. You can just one-shot him before he does any of the phase-changing stuff.
Ah. All right, well, I missed at least.
I don't think we have enough blue elements to charge up again, do we? You've got...
Got Aqua Beam.
You've got Aqua Beam on Lina. You've got another one on Surge. I think if you just want to try to fight through it, I think you just got to defend to get all your stamina back. But running away is also fine here.
Yep. Two.
You want to use Lina next because she needs to get her stamina back. Yeah, then you should be good from here.
All right, I'm running away.
Yeah.
It just did not work out.
What's Son of a Gun's AP again?
7.
7? Yeah. So yeah, I guess that doesn't work if you don't have any leftover element levels. I usually just run away.
マジできついんだなこいつ。全く覚えてねえ。
So you hit one of them, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if we're on this fight, we've got kind of two variations on the strategy, whether or not Lina misses or not at the start. We do a 3-3 because at the start of the run, I was talking about how you can push enemies' turns backwards. Doing a 3-3 is the main way that we do that because he can't take a turn until after Lina's done hitting both of her 3 attacks. And our main goal there was just to get some element levels on Lina.
All right, we made it.
So we got the Frog Prince off this time. I was thinking something, but I didn't want to curse you again. The problem is the bosses at the start of the fight, they start with a random amount of AP missing from their bar. So if you think of this like Final Fantasy VII, where they've got that bar that fills up slowly, and each number on the AP thing is just that filling up. That bar can start from anywhere to fully empty to like 2 ticks away from filling up. So this boss can be really mean because he can just interrupt you at the start, and it's not very nice. So we've got one more really creepy boss, because if that wasn't creepy enough for you, we've got another one coming up. But we got a little bit more running here and a couple more pretty particular enemy dodges that are just mean. They should be pretty self-explanatory. So Threech, we have more to push for that Chrono Trigger incentive. Now's a good time.
I would love to do that. We are on our way to making that happen. We're over $2,700, so we need just under $1,300 to make that happen. And that's made possible by donations like this $100 donation from players A plus B that says more Chrono, please. And a $40 donation from Bowser who says jerikandra Chrono Trigger runs are the best.
Aw, Bowser, thanks.
So this is Bunyip. And Bunyip has a really nasty attack that they use pretty early on. Was that a 2-roll?
I think so, yeah. Or maybe 3.
Okay. So this is a fight where if things go bad in the start, we definitely run away, because the next attack that Bunyip is going to use is Inferno, which is a level 6 red AoE. It will do approximately 300 to 400 damage to the entire party.
Especially with
kill us
Magnify.
instantly. But with the Magnify setup and this Ice Blast, we can do enough damage to just phase it instantly. But this is one of the scarier fights in this dungeon, because if it goes bad and you don't run away, this is one of those ones that will game over you. So we defeated him and this weird thing pops out. I'm sure somebody in the Frame Fatale's Discord is already adding a particular eyeball to this enemy. I look forward to seeing it later. And now we've got this black elemental enemy. So if you notice, there's been enemies for most of the elements colors that we've been fighting so far, but we haven't had a black one yet. So we're going to set up another summon here with using that Ice Blast on the first phase. The field effect carries over. So then we only had to use 2 more blue elements to fill it to be completely blue. And now Lena, with the Magnify still active, this summon is going to do 50% extra damage. So that Magnify hits both the Ice Blast in the first phase and this Frog Prince. Then depending on your stats, he's going to be either lower health or not. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll just use this Luminaire from Surge. Ooh, okay, good. So only
Okay, we made it.
Because this does a pretty good chunk of damage, even if the Surge's magic is pretty low. We'll oftentimes just finish the boss off or just leave him within chip damage of Glenn to finish off. So very nice. Right there.
Yeah, not bad. All right, Glenn is 23 strength. He's feet.
Hey, his
Right?
feet. Out of context
Glenn.
quotes. Yes, Glenn is feet. Now we have 2 boss fights left over. We're gonna do a couple pretty nasty enemy dodges. We've got a cutscene. Once we get past that cutscene, we're probably in the last stretch of commentary. So just go with your donations, Threech.
Oh, chat, we are coming up on the end, like Ray just said, so we gotta go. We gotta go. And chat, I bet you can meme us all the way to $4,000. We're at $2,884 out of that $4,000. So let me give you a challenge. Based on this $50 donation from Fierce Wolf, who has a great idea, click that Chrono button. We've got the cross. Let's get some trigger up in here, friends. Less than 3. Chat, click that Chrono button. You can do it. Thank you so much to Nick O for the $25 donations that says, more Chrono games? That's just chronological.
Nice. Tons.
And we have a $26 donation from XS who says, Nikki is Blueprint. Best Chrono Cross character, obvi. Legend of Mana is best PSX, though. Get with it.
So this fight right here is why we leave all the strength gear on Glenn, because we're going up against General Viper, Yellow Elemental. So Glenn, with being Green Elemental, just naturally does a lot of damage. Viper giving us the low AP roll just to be a jerk.
Yeah.
This fight, thankfully, isn't super dangerous. It's just how much time is Viper gonna waste? He doesn't have a whole lot of health. He doesn't do a lot of damage. But if he acts early, it's just a pain in the butt. He decided to act early, so he's going to get a second turn here. He's going to use the G-Force, the longer animation. It also puts a yellow on the field, which makes Glenn hit a little bit less hard. So we counter that by using a Bush Basher, put another green up. Now there's 2 green, 1 yellow. Take that, Viper. And then we should be able to finish him off here with a 3-3. And, okay. He wanted to get his final words in here, and then the Sonic Sword. And now we're going to be coming up against the titular Lynx fight, the Lynx percent. The reason why this is Lynx at Fort Dragonia, Lynx 2, Lynx percent, however you want to say it. 24 strength. Yeah. Nice. And one of the big things with the Lynx fight is he's a jerk. I think it's his second or third term. He uses one of your elements on you. He randomly picks an element that you have equipped and casts it against you. It's one of the meanest things I've seen a JRPG boss do because it actually consumes it and makes it so you can't use it for the rest of the fight. So we're going to buff up Glenn. We're going to give him a turn white so that he does more damage against the black elemental Lynx here. And then we hope that we don't get the worst combination of spells. Because what can happen is, and I've seen this happen before, is he can take your weak-minded and cast it on you. And that's really bad when he follows that up with a high-level element later on. So, but it's like such a particular string of events. He has to use the weak-minded. You have to miss a bunch so that he gets another element off on you later. Please leave Glenn alone,
Oh my
Lynx.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. And then ideally, we're just going to keep wailing on him with Lynx, or with Glenn and Surge here. They're going to keep taking turns. Lynx.
He used the weak
Don't you do it. Oh my goodness. I'm once again feeling like this is my fault for willing this into existence. All right.
Okay, good.
Went after Lena. Okay.
Pick
We're
on
good.
Lena for a little bit.
And he's pretty close to dead, so you should just be able to finish with physical attacks here. Yeah.
All right, and then time will be when this dialogue closes. So be ready, and that's time.
I'm clapping very quietly, so it's not super loud on stream. Good job,
GG
Jericho.
desu.
The game was very mean, but we got through it.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We got to the end. So yeah, so that's a third of the
入れ替わるか
game.
ら、ここまでなのか。
Yeah, I guess we can kind of show off what happens here, and then it'll leave like a cliffhanger for you to finish the game.
Is this the Panther Demon?
Yes, this is the Panther Demon. We're having a flashback to that happening in our past, but
Classic
Jericho, do you
Panther
have
Demon.
shout-outs while we're, letting things play out?
Yeah, definitely. Huge shout out to Rail-kun, obviously another fast
ところ
forward
で、
runner.
この
She
後
runs
の
in the category with me.
クロノトリガーやるか
as
ど
well
うか
as
っ
I
て
think
いう
Candy's in
の
there
は
now too. But like they were
まだ
saying,
は達成してないけれど
Handy
も、
also, huge shout out to Super Handy, does all the notes. I need to get the updated notes, but even what I've got is always really good, and he's always really helpful. Huge shout out in general for the Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross Discord and community for like helping, just being super helpful and friendly. And at me as a brand new runner, speedrunner, never speedrun before, started with Trigger, got into Cross. Just had a really good time. And then huge shout out as well to all my friends and fam that showed up and hung out and sent donations in to give me encouragement. I really appreciate it. And thanks so much for having me on as well.
And
So is there an update from the host?
Oh,
how are we
yeah.
doing on Chrono Trigger?
We are doing great, but we still have a bit to go, folks. We are at over $3,000 raised to make Chrono Trigger New Game Plus happen. We've still got, we're running out of time. So if you want to see that happen, and I want to see that happen, we all want to see it happen, let's let jerikandra play a little bit more to make this happen. Jerikandra has got the world record in New Game Plus. It's going to be amazing. After this follow-up of Lynx Percent from Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition, how could you not want to see more? Chrono Trigger has been a pivotal game in the RPG scene. There is so much more to show, and we want to see some fast-paced, difficult fights that are absolutely broken in New Game Plus. We've just passed $3,200. We're at $3,289 out of
Awesome.
4,000. Just about there, folks, but we have to keep pushing. We can see that incentive. We want to see it happen, and a lot of you do too. I can see some donations coming in, like $50 from Milia Strange, who says, pull my Chrono Trigger. So let's go. Let's make this happen.
I also do just want to cut in real quick because jerikandra is too modest to say it. Go follow her at twitch.tv/jerikandra. Does a lot of Chrono content on her stream. Just click that follow button. I see a shout out just got pushed in chat. So if you're not following, definitely a worthy follow if you enjoy the Chrono content.
Thanks so much. I also speedrun Dragon Quest XI too. And I wanted to say, I want to sing a little song for you about the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus. Something
song?
like, yeah, it's just a quick little jingle, right? So I just met you, and this is crazy. Let's fight this hedgehog. Save the world, maybe.
Did you know that
never-
canonically, Chrono Trigger was actually the first game to feature a
おっ
hedgehog?
と、
Yeah, I never thought of
行く
Lavos
か？
as a hedgehog, and I'm never going to be able to unsee that now. So thank you very much for that, Jerika.
Sure thing.
おレイドありがとうございます。
All right. Well, thanks so much again for having me out, and thanks for such an awesome
to-
time. I'm glad we were able. I was able to
100ドルで
showcase
行くけ
this
ど、
run to
行く
y'all.
か？
Definitely come check out the Chrono Cross Chrono Trigger Discord. Learn to speed run. Come to my runs. Come hang out and find out what the rest of this run looks like.
どうかな、これ、あとここで待ってる間で、
All right, chat. You saw
行くのか
the
な？
first part, but what could the second part be? Stick around to
どうかな、
find out.
走るのか？
Have a stretch. Go get a glass of water.
ちょっと一
We're
旦
having
今
a good time. We are
どうなる
less
かわかりませんが、
$500
一旦
away from
今
seeing
次の
the
作品の
Chrono
準備
Trigger
という
New
こ
Game
とで、
Plus run. You can make it
失礼
happen,
させ
chat.
ていただき
Chat.
ます。
You can make this dream come true. You can also sing Call Me Maybe parodies about Chrono Trigger because honestly, I really think that that's what the internet was made for.
あ、そうだ。ごめんなさいね。クロノクロス、ラジカルドリーマーズエディションの、ヤマネコパーセントでした。それでは、また後ほど。
If you're just tuning in, we are currently running Frost Fatales 2024. We are so excited to be benefiting the National Women's Law Center for this event. The National Women's Law Center is a group of advocates, experts, and lawyers who fight for gender justice, taking on issues that are central to the lives of women and girls. Thank you so much to everyone who has donated so far. We've raised over $69,000. We are almost at that $70,000 mark. And for the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus incentive, we're almost there, chat. We're at $3,704. We need less than $300 to go to see that happen, chat. We are so close. We have done amazing things through these events. Just through Frost Fatales 2024 alone, we've seen some incredible stuff, but we are absolutely going to make this happen. I fully believe in you, chat. It's not too late if you want to tell me a little bit more about your favorite PlayStation 1 games. You can tell me about who your favorite Chrono Cross character is. I've never played Chrono Cross. I've heard it's pretty good though. Maybe I should watch a speed run of it. Oh wait, we just did, and we can see some more if we want to watch Chrono Trigger as well. You can see jerikandra beat Chrono Trigger in less than 10 minutes. How is that even possible? Chat, we are getting so close to this donation total. We are so excited. And with that, chat, we have met. How did this happen? We have met the Chrono Trigger New Game Plus run. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. I'm in the middle of a sentence and this magic happened. Incredible. Amazing. Chat, you are so awesome. We are so excited. Thank you so much to the $75 donation from Anonymous that says, let's go Twitch chat. Thank you to Sealer Jade who sends in $15 and says, click that donate button. And you did, chat. You absolutely did. And we are so close to $70,000. That's so many dollars. And it all goes to benefit the National Women's Law Center. That is so cool.